What's everyone out there in Radio Land? This is Barry coming to you live from There Be Different Podcasts and Brace Marriage Ministries on Twitch.tv. This is just a little bit of podcast just to kind of share with you what's going on with us as far as the ministry. Just kind of giving us a little bit of word encouragement. I just got through streaming Warframe. I went on a break and I was pausing, and next thing you know, I found out I was off stream. So if you happen to be on stream during the time that I was off, that's what happened. It just pretty much, the app pretty much said that I pretty much just went out. So the app went down, and next thing you know, I was off stream. No Warframe, no broadcast. So it disconnected itself, and so therefore I got an unfinished deal. So it kind of abruptly ended. But my plan was at the end of it, I was going to stop at about this time and kind of share with you some things, what I wanted to share with you. First off, I wanted to just thank you for joining us. Thank you for following us and being loyal to the ministry and to the stream. Those that are actually faithful and loyal to the stream. I know that we have a few people who, today is probably going to be a zero goose egg day for me. I had a few people come on the stream earlier, but I know that this is for a lot of people, tomorrow is the first day of school for their kids. Some of them first day of college, some of them high school, or whatever the case might be. So they're going to be pretty much preoccupied with that. So this stream is basically for those who are going to be after church, or after they're going to take care of business, or while they're out and about, they can listen to it. What we want to say, what I want to say about what we're going to do as far as the ministry goes, as far as the stream goes, we're going to stay with the intended format. My thing is, and I'm going to be honest with you about something for a moment. I had a great concern about how I was delivering the message, if I was delivering the message at all. I had a real big concern about that, because I watched a lot of streams. I watched a lot of people do streams. And they were, Christian streams, and I kind of watched the behavior, watched the personalities of the different individuals, how they ministered to the people. They had a good group of people that followed them already. So it was it wasn't a difficult thing for them to be able to have people to minister to, because they had a lot of followers already. A lot of them did. Myself, we don't have that many followers. We don't know. We just kind of starting in this, at least out on Twitch. Yeah. Now we have a lot of people who come on to our main site where our podcast is actually hosted. They come there and they listen to it and they download it. So we get mostly downloads. We have people who are actually is starting to get some traffic in Stitcher. We're starting, don't know about Spotify too much. I had to look into it, and don't really know about Google Play. Is where we are also. Our main goal was at first to try to get onto iTunes. It was a difficult thing for us. Then we decided against it, not for the sake of just it being iTunes. It was just some personal things that we had to kind of deal with as far as that was concerned. There are a few other things that we wanted to get on, and have our podcast to be played on, which that is one of the things I'm gonna mention. My brother, who lives in Hesperia, California, and pray for them in California. They experience a lot of fires, especially near his area. Pray for them that they will be safe. He has an internet radio station, KRBG, KBRG, digital radio. It comes. It's the bridge. Uh, it's called the bridge. KBRG, the bridge, and he has it on live365.com. Radio station. It's his own funded radio station, full fledged. It's internet. It's on the internet. He's got FCC, everything. So it's a legit deal. We're going to be making an effort to get our podcast put there, and as soon as we do that, we're going to announce it and also give you the link to the station where you can be able to hear in the times. He'll let me know when we're playing, so that we can be able to have draw some traffic there and support him. So that'll give us a whole new audience. That'll give us a different demographic than the one that we have now. We'll be in a totally different area. Although a lot of the people in the United States do get our podcast and they do download it from different places. They see it on Facebook. They happen to cross it on Twitter. We have people that has happenstance and they just see it and just say, oh, had one of our followers. I was in another stream that we also follow. Oh, excuse me. I just got to eat. I'm tired. And I stream, it makes me tired. So I'm going to end up. That's why I'm going to go ahead and stop. I stopped early so I could take a break. Also, the stream, like I said, itself, like I say, he'll basically we'll put us in a different group. Although, like I say, we do get a lot of listens through our different various platforms. But it'll put us in a whole different bracket. We'll actually be on a radio station. We'll actually have our podcast ran on a certain schedule. So we're gonna appear from. I don't know how we'll do it. I don't know if we'll do it weekly, twice a week. I don't know how we're gonna do it yet. But once we get once we get down. What kind of schedule we'll have, then we'll be able to share it with you all and let you know and where to go and to hear it. Because I want to get him a different demographic as well and get a lot of people who hear the station. He does a lot of more Facebook than I do. He does Facebook Live. I don't have any people on Facebook. All my people here. So you got to go where your audience is. So his audience is there. He has a very large audience on Facebook, and I think that's the reason why we want to team up with him. It's no problem us teaming up together and sharing what we have with him and he with us. So, like I said, we have a lot of things that we want to do. And going back to what I was saying earlier, I don't want to just come on here. And I know a lot of people are turned off by, as they say, religion. I was watching Pastor Susie, who's a stream on here as well. Everybody know Pastor Susie. Pastor Susie got interviewed by the Washington Post. Also, and if you hadn't read the article, you get with him. He can tell you where the article is. We got a link of it, and we just happened to read it. And it was a pretty good article. They did a pretty good article on it. They didn't, but it was the comments on the website about the article he was referring to. He was talking about how to deal with critics, how to deal with people who say bad things about you and criticize you and say evil manner evil against you. So you got people who will do that. A lot of people. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Listen, a lot of people. Some people might be turned off by the fact that we are Christian. We're gamers. Well, I'm not a gamer. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not one. I like to play games, and I like to incorporate that because I do it. I said, well, I might as well play some games. But most of the time, we're doing what I'm doing right now. We're doing our podcast. We do it live. And so we hadn't been doing it live in the beginning. In the beginning, we was doing it pre-recorded, and we just put it up on Facebook, we put it up on Twitter, we put it up on whatever platform we put it up on, and people just happened to see it. Well, it was pretty good. It still had lost traffic just because we went live. It just gives us a broader audience because now we're reaching more people in a different platform. And that's what we're basically doing. We're trying to expand it as far as we can throw the net, as far as we can throw it. But the thing is back in what I'm saying, is I don't want to just do this just to do this. I want what I do to matter. I know that if you want to do something, you want it to matter. You don't want to just do something just to sit down and say, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. You want it to matter. You want it to make a difference in the lives of the people that you come in contact with. You want to be able to share with them what Jesus is to you. You know, if you don't have a relationship with God, then someone can come along and can share with you what they know about the God they serve. And you can be able to see that. You have to be able to see that. You have to be able to see that in the way that I game, the way that I live, the way that I treat my wife, the way that I treat my kids, the way that I do at work. It has to be shown. That's my biggest thing. I think my biggest thing with me is that I want to make sure that my life is lived for Him, and everything I do it to glorify Him. And if I feel that what I do does not glorify Him, then I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to change the way I do it. So in the past, I've been playing. I know it's like I said, I'm new to this. So I don't stream much. I don't stream game much. And so my basically interactions will be based on you watching me playing somebody, but I will respond if you come in the chat. Yeah, man, that is true. Your life has to be reflective of what He is to you. And if you don't have, if your life is not reflective of what He is to you, then you're really just wasting time. I mean, I'm not about wasting time. I'm not about doing something just to be doing something. My wife is not into just doing something just to be doing. She likes a plan. And she'll tell you she likes a plan. We'll sit down, and there'll be a few times where if we didn't have anything to talk to y'all about, we just don't come on. I didn't want to just come on and I got to the point where I say, you know what, I just don't want to come on and all the time tell and say, well, we really didn't have anything planned. No, we got to be more professional than that. And then we got to give God our best. My wife was saying that. She was saying, well, we got to give God our best. And we was talking about last night, and cause after I watched the broadcast, Pastor, it kind of encouraged me. It really encouraged me. It encouraged me to the point where I realized, you know what? Maybe I need to do things differently than what I've been doing. It's good that you have examples of people who's actually doing this. Like I got my brothers, the Way TV, they brothers. They both game. They are in there and they ministering to one another. They're interacting with the chat. They talking to people. People is talking back to them. And I like that. That's the kind of design that I got. I had someone in the stream while I was in their stream, which follows me as well, come in and say, hey, I just came from watching one of your podcasts. And I'm like, I'm thinking, well, hey, is anybody ever even looking at this stuff? We don't have a lot of views, but we do have people that actually do watch them. That will find one that might fit them because they don't last long. So if you don't get them, the best way, if you don't see them on here, the best way to see them is to go to our YouTube. I can put a link up in the chat for our YouTube because that's where all of them are basically because after a while, I didn't realize that, but after a while, these will disappear. They'll last only for so long, and then after that, you don't see them no more. So if you really want to see past broadcasts when we first started doing this, as far as videoing, because really when we started off, we didn't video it. We basically started off kind of just doing it voice. Well, no, we didn't. We didn't start off voice. We basically we didn't do video. If I can recall, we didn't do video. I think we started off, put it up there tonight, but I put it up there twice. Yeah, it's only what you, Jesus Christ for last. Yeah, I don't know, babe. Did we start videoing from the beginning, or we just kind of did it just audio only? Because I don't think we really had a whole lot of videos from the start. Now we got a lot of them. We did a lot of marriage videos, which we're gonna start back doing. We did a lot of and also just regular regular life training videos and stuff, just talking about life, talking about our life. Basically, a lot of it Dare to Be Different was about us, how we're daring to be different in a world that wants to be, we want us to be abnormal in an abnormal world. So a lot of people, they want you to live their life the way they're living it, but God is wanting us to live our life the way he wants us to live it. So also we have a link for our website there, which is braceletandmarriagetogether.wordpress.com. Yes, we mainly minister in marriages, because that's what we've been doing for 20 something years, is marriage. So if you're good at something, I heard, and that's not a true quote, but hey, it was funny when I just thought about that when I heard it. It was on Batman's A Dark Knight when Joker said, "If you're good at something, never do it for free." Well, some you have to be compensated, I think, in some degree for what you do, so that, and God says, hey, he does reward us for our works. God is not going to let you just do work for him and not reward you. That would be unjust, and that would be unfair for God to not reward you for your job. Your job does it. I mean, you know what your reward is after you done gave time and strength and energy and sanity at the time. It's your paycheck. That's your reward. That's the compensation for what you have given. And God there are going to be cases where, we want to be compensated for what we have been given. The workman's worthy of his hire. But we're not asking for anything. We expect God to bless us through the right people, but we're not ever in the business asking. We always offer you the opportunity to be able to give, but we don't ever ask you to give. We don't come up here with gimmicks and stuff like that. Like a lot of people in the world expect unbelievers expect us as believers to do. They think we got gimmicks. So that's what a lot of them come with. They think, well, you're a Christian streamer. That's just another opportunity to be able to exploit people. No, I don't think it's so much that. I think it's another opportunity to be able to exhort people, not exploit people. So the exhortation, this is a field that's wide open to a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize that, but you do have a ministry, that you have a legitimate ministry, and you have other ministries that are coming up that are on this channel. And I went through different places in this channel. Thank God it is a family friendly thing. The most you'll see, of course, you'll see like all different types of things. You won't see nothing crazy, because Twitch is real tight about that. Amazon don't play that. You're not finna see none of that, nothing pornographic or crazy on there. Now, if y'all have ran across anything like that, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. But if you have, yeah, because I mean, the enemy will try to slip that mess in some kind of way. If it's suggestive or it's provocative, he's going to try to suggest to put it in there. So seductive, he's going to try to put it in there some kind of way. So you got to be careful. Of course, you got to monitor. You got to have self-control, monitor yourself and stuff that you have. But one of the things is you can't be walking around in fear just because it's oh man, that Facebook, that's the devil. They say that because they had bad experiences with it. And the only reason why a lot of people like we don't do Instagram. The only reason why we didn't do Instagram is because in it earlier, and it's probably gotten better over time because I hadn't been on it in years. Well, yeah, been years. So it's gotten better over time, but when we first got on it, it wasn't that great. So, and then too, my wife was like, "Well, why now I got to get on something all I ever see?" Because a lot of times she would go to see, different, because it's basically the snapshots of your life, and so they a lot of times, especially with the people that we followed, all they were saying is basically they're using it as advertisements, and there was no personal touch. There was no saying, "Hey, this is me." A lot of them are doing that. Some are making it too personal. They putting all their business on Instagram, but there's this fine line on that. I think, there's a fine line to how much you share, and what you share, because a lot of times people overshare and then they get themselves in a fix, and they can't retract that stuff because it's too much. But the thing is what we want to do is we want to overshare. You want to overshare Jesus. If we're going to overshare anything, we're going to overshare him, how he brought us through, how he brought us out, how he made a way for us, and how he's able to bring us through all the stuff that we're going through in our lives. And a lot of people, they walk around and they don't realize that we need him. Now, like I said, there's a lot of people that's on this platform that don't even believe in God. I thank God for the few that are here with us that do, the ones that follow us, the ones that work with us. I mean, thank God for our mods and for God, the godly geek, and hadn't seen him in a while, but thank God for him. Then for Armor of Faith and for the Way TV and for Cornerstone 777. You say, well, why you always mention just them four? There's so many different ones I can mention. But the reason why I mentioned those four is for other people, and all the other rest of them, they're great too. I'm not the one. If I ain't call your name, I don't mean that I don't care no less about you. But those particular four have a unique, other than with one more person, Mama False we call her, which is Armor Face mother, and so those 4 or 5 that I mentioned are people who, if nobody else is there, they're there. Now, about 3 out of 5 might be there, and but most of the time, in some form or fashion, they're gonna come in and say hi. They're gonna be a part of the stream. 3 of them are moderators of mine. I think the Armor Faith and Godly Geek, and the Way TV moderators of our channel. Mostly Godly Geek and Armor Faith when they come in. The Way TV usually streams about the same time I do, so they're honorary, I call them. They're there just in case. But I thank God for the reason why I did that is because I wanted someone there that knew and understood what it was to do what they do and do what I'm doing. To have them to moderate a podcast, that's different from moderating just a stream. It's just the same principle. Only difference is I'm talking, I'm just not shooting nothing. Now, I'm not shooting anything in the face. I'm just talking to you about what God is doing for us. And a lot of people, like I say, don't believe in God. And my beliefs don't require them to believe what I believe. Just going to another movie reference. Matrix, the second one, when Morpheus was told by Locke, if you go watch the movie, he told him, he said, he used an expletive. He said, Morpheus, he said, everybody's to believe what you believe or like you believe. And he said, my beliefs don't require them to. So my beliefs, what I believe, don't require you to believe what I believe. It requires you to believe in who I believe. See, you don't have to believe the way I believe to be, on this planet. You have to believe who I believe to live a good life, though. I mean, if you want to live a life that's more more freer, where you're not bound by things around you, you're not bound by the stuff that the enemy tries, yeah, then you need to believe in whom I believe, not what I believe. Because maybe what I believe might not be what you believe, but that don't necessarily mean you can't believe in Jesus. If we both believe in Jesus, that's what matters to me. I'm not, splitting hairs over doctrines, or pants or not, or makeup or not, or Saturday or Sunday, that kind of stuff. We splitting hairs over that stuff. No, it don't matter. Do we have the same common tenets of faith? Do we have the same creed? Do we believe? Now, if we believe opposite of that, then yeah, that's when the problem starts. If you're one religion and I'm Christian and you're something else, and we don't have the same belief system and we don't believe in the same God, then that's different. But I'm talking about the people who believe in the same God that I believe in, the same one. At one time they believed in God. The biggest atheist was the most devout Christian. You say, how can you say that? All the bases of most atheists, all they are is Christians that got hurt by the church, and they hate the church so much, and then something happened in their life where God didn't answer them correctly. If you notice, a lot of them, they bash God so badly because God was responsible for something major in their life that He didn't come through. And they basically just turned their back on him. So they deny his existence because he denied, according to them, he denied theirs. So therefore they went through what is a spiritual divorce. Well, it had nothing to do with God. I'm done with him. He can take the car. I'm going to take the cat. And we going to leave and part company. That's kind of how it goes. We divorce God because things have hurt us so bad in life, and God didn't come through what He wanted. So the biggest atheist a lot of times was your most devout Christian, the person that loved God the most, and He hurt them the most, and now they won't want anything to do with Him. So everybody that serves the one that you hate, that's just like I said, you being divorced, and you had a bad divorce, and then you got a friend who's friends with you and the husband or the wife. And then you don't want them to be friends with, and you can't deal with them because they're friends with the person that you don't like. And that's kind of how it comes across. You don't like me because you're mad at God. You don't like me because you don't understand the God I serve. Because He didn't do for you what He did for me. So why should I have anything to do with you? Because you don't serve. Because He didn't do it for me. He hurt me. He did me wrong. So why I have anything to do with you? You remind me of Him. So therefore I don't want anything to do with you. And that's how that's how they treat us as believers. But then again, on the other side of it, a lot of us have made God look bad. We misrepresented God. We made people want to turn away from God because of the way we treated people, because we didn't represent God in the first place. We judged them. We said bigger things to them. We put them down. We misunderstood them. We didn't try to be empathetic. We didn't try to be sympathetic. We didn't have any compassion. Therefore, they don't want anything to do with us or our God. If their God is like you, then I don't want nothing to do with Him. Because we're the only Jesus or the only God that people gonna see. And if they see us as something that's judgmental or vindictive, guess what kind of words they're gonna give us? They're gonna tell us that's why I don't deal with people who are religious. That's why I don't deal with religion, because it's this is this and that. And because they equate religion with God. And it's two different things. When something is religion, that means it's ritual and routine. I've heard people say it. I heard back in the term, he said he lifted weights religiously. When I heard that term, I thought he said, well, he must have lifted to Christian music. No, that means he did it all the time. That he said it was customary for him to do. It was ritual. Religion is a matter of rituals and a matter of routines and a matter because that's what it's about. It's a man's attempt to try to reach God. Christianity is God's attempt to reach man. So every other religion, you notice that that's their game. Their other religion is their attempt to reach their God. They have to do something in order to reach him. But then our particular faith says that God came down and tried to reach us, so that we wouldn't have to try to reach him. He came down to reach us. What is wrong with that? Why do people have a problem with that? And I guess because I've been in another religion, and go from one to another to understand that. Because some people are just as devout in Islam, and just as devout in Hinduism, and just as devout in Buddhism as I am in Christianity. And they don't understand why we would serve a God that is bloody as ours. Because our God requires a sacrifice, they say. Our God doesn't require that. Yes, he does. He requires you as a sacrifice. But God gave his own self as a sacrifice. If you serve a religion where every time that you're told that you give your life for your God, that you get this many people in your afterlife, then that means that your God is making you die for him instead of him dying for you. When you ever heard of a God wanting to come down as man and die for his own people? He would rather, some people believe that God is so lofty or lifted that he would die, that we would die for him instead of him dying for us. Well, you take off his divinity and put on humanity and become like us in order to understand us. Instead, we want to try to get divinity in order to understand God. That's not how God designed it. But that's how religion have us believing, that we're making a way to God instead of God making his way to us. In the parable of the lost son, the father wasn't running out looking for the son. The son came to the father, and when he saw him coming, he ran to meet him. I mean, God is always in it, but then there is another parable, the lost sheep. Same later on. Different aspects. There are some cases where God will search heaven and earth for you. There are some cases where he'll wait for you to come. It's just a matter of how he knows you, and he knows what it'll take. Some people will come when God go after them, but then some people will come when they go after him. It's just a matter of perspective and a matter of how God does it. We'll never understand the mind of God, not by ourselves. But the Bible says he has given us his spirit. And the spirit knows what the mind of his God is. So if we want to know how he thinks, we have his spirit, those that are believers. So when we say that we are Christian gamers, that we're Christian podcasters, because I'm a Christian podcaster. I'm Christian and I podcast. This is what I do. I'm a Christian podcaster. I'm not just a podcaster. I'm a Christian podcaster. I'm a minister of the gospel. I've been a minister for 20-something years. My wife has been in ministry as long as I've been in ministry. We've been in ministry together. We are in ministry together now. We know this thing. It's nothing too much that we hadn't seen that we're not surprised by. So there are some things that are going to look at this and say, you know what? I'm turned off by that. I'm unfollowing this dude because something wrong with him. But you know what? I'm not in it for follows. I'm in it for followers of Christ, not for followers of me. I mean, we got 27 followers on Twitch. If we keep 27 followers on Twitch till Jesus come, I wouldn't have no problem. You know why? It's because I'm not in it for followers. The only reason why it's good for us to have the followers that we need is the more people we have, the more people we can reach. And so that's the thing. It's about reaching people, not about us having more people so we can have more things. No. Because like I say, I'm the first to tell you, I'm not a gamer. So if your expectation was to come on here and say, hey, that's another gamer. No, I never said I was. And if you thought that, I'm sorry that you misunderstood. We're podcasting, and our message is what you hear today. Now, we talk about life. We talk about things in life. And that's what we'll do. We'll talk about things in life and tell you about life and what's going on in life. So you get that. So, but there are going to be times when we have to come with the truth. We got to tell you what Jesus says, and that's how it's been since the day we started. So from this, this is the whole point. The reason why I'm bringing this is because this is what I was going to do in the stream, because this is what we need. We don't need just to be entertained. Entertainment is okay, but when it comes to the message, I don't want to be an entertainer. I want to be someone that brings you the truth, that loves you through it, that helps you to be loved through it. So we thank you for taking out the time to listen to those that came in the stream. I know people are popping in and out because they're expecting me to bang and shoot. My wife calls it banging and shoot. I know they expect me to be playing the game right by now. And then, like I say, some people came in like, yeah, he talking. I have no time for that. But I know some people that sit down and watch people run their mouth for about an hour or two over really nothing. There's a program I watch is Today in This Week in Technology, Twit. And they basically talk about all kinds of stuff as far as technology. That's it. Now, if you're into that kind of thing, you'll watch that for hours. I'll put it on, I'll listen to it, I'll keep up to date to different things that come out. I'll watch a movie review on a movie, I'll watch different things on stuff. I'm eclectic as far as my subjects because everything, as you can see, I relate everything to what I talk about. It's going to relate somewhere. So I'm always getting some kind of trivial knowledge. It may not even make a sense then, but once I put it in perspective with something else, it might make sense. So I use a lot of examples of hyperboles and examples of different things, you know. I just use all that stuff. So I just use them just to kind of give you a perspective of what I'm talking about, kind of instance, for example. But like I said, we are doing a podcast tonight, Lord willing. We're wanting to finish up. Well, we're not going to finish it up. We're going to go on the second part of our God wants to do a new thing in your life. We're doing a new series. We're doing like a 3-parter. Part 2 will be tonight. We'll be talking about coming out of Isaiah 43, 18, 19. Talking about remember not you the former things, you consider the things over, but see, I would do a new thing, says the Lord. Shall you not know it? So it shall spring forth, shall you not know it? So the thing is, we're going to be talking about that tonight, and we're going to be talking about how that God wants us to deal with our focus. So we're going to be talking about focusing on the right goals tonight. So we thank you, God, again for your time. Check us out on our Facebook there on Brace and Marriage Ministries. BraceandMarriageTogether.wordpress.com. It's going to show all the different platforms, our Facebook, Twitter, all the different things like that. If you want to know what's going on with us, you can follow us on Twitter at @TwitterCraig. There you can follow us there. Go to our YouTube if you want to see this video or other videos that we have done that haven't been erased on Twitch. You can go there and you can check them out. Also, you can subscribe to our Discord, which I'm putting in the chat also. We do have a Discord. If you have any questions, you have any comments, any praise reports, you can put it there on that Discord, and we can be able to look at it. We do look at it every day, but check it once I get off here. You can check, and we do take the prayer requests. We do pray over them. We do believe God for you, best for you. Amen. So we'll see you on tonight. It's just going to end my stream for today. This was basically the ending of my stream. We're going to go continue on tomorrow with some more Warframe. It's going to be our first Monday stream this week after a while since I've been in the hospital. So we're going to do our Monday stream. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about what kind of recap on our podcast from last night, kind of talk a little bit about that. And also we're going to do some I may do a quest. I don't know. What I'm going to end up probably doing is when I get off here, kind of finish up on the limbo theorem, because I'm doing that one, so I can get that chassis, and then I sort of get that built. So once we get that built, then which will be the next stream, because it takes like 12 hours. So I'll do it now. It'll be done by the time I get ready to stream. Then I can do all this other stuff. And we can finish that off and go to the next one. So we thank God for you. And we'll see you on tonight. We'll be coming on at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It'll be it'll be a dare to be different. We're going to end up with that, and then we're going to do both of them tonight, and we're going to start Monday with a marriage one. So we'll let you know what on tonight, which one we'll do. God bless you. We'll see you on the next time.